Jesus began his great work by the Sea of Galilee, searching not for kings or scholars, but for ordinary people. The shoreline bustled with life, fishermen mending nets, boats bobbing in the sun. Among them were Simon and Andrew, casting their nets, unaware their lives were about to change. Jesus saw their potential, their strength, and their humble hearts. He approached, speaking simply, "Come, follow me." His words carried a power that stirred something deep within them. Would they leave everything behind for a new purpose? This was more than an invitation. It was a call to transformation. Jesus saw beyond their daily toil. He saw what they could become. The moment was quiet, but history was being made. The fishermen paused, nets in hand, caught between the familiar and the unknown. Jesus' gaze was kind, yet determined. The sun glinted off the water, as if blessing this new beginning. Simon and Andrew made their choice. They left their nets and followed him. Their journey with the Son of God had begun. Ordinary men called to an extraordinary path. The world would never be the same. Jesus' mission was underway, and it started with a simple, life-changing invitation. The adventure of faith had begun. Fishermen in Jesus' time were tough, shaped by hard work and long nights on the Sea of Galilee. They faced unpredictable winds, choppy waves, and hours of waiting for a catch. Their hands were rough, their spirits resilient. Patience and persistence were their daily companions. Sometimes, after hours of effort, they caught nothing, but they never gave up. Teamwork was essential. Casting nets and hauling in fish required many hands. They relied on each other for safety and success. These men were not wealthy or famous, just ordinary, grounded individuals. They understood struggle, hard work, and the value of honest labor. Their lives were simple, but their character was strong. The sea taught them endurance and unity. They knew how to pull together for a common goal. Their humble background made them relatable to everyone. Jesus saw these qualities and knew they were exactly what he needed. Their daily challenges had prepared them for something greater. They were ready for a new kind of work, one that would change the world. The call to follow Jesus was the beginning of a new purpose. Jesus recognized the fishermen's patience and endurance, qualities essential for spreading his message. Sharing God's love would require waiting for hearts to open, just as they waited for fish. Their experience with hard work prepared them for the challenges ahead. Following Jesus meant long journeys, opposition, and unwavering dedication. Their teamwork would become the foundation of a new community. They knew how to support and encourage one another. Their courage, tested by storms at sea, would help them face resistance. Speaking truth would not always be easy, but they were not easily frightened. Years on the water had built their strength. Now it would serve a higher purpose. Jesus was building more than a group. He was forming a movement. The fishermen's skills would be transformed for a spiritual mission. Their ordinary lives were the perfect training ground for extraordinary work. They would learn to rely on each other and on God. Their journey would require faith, courage, and unity. Jesus saw their potential, and he called them to something greater. The skills they honed on the sea would now serve the kingdom of God. Jesus didn't choose the powerful or the privileged. He chose ordinary fishermen. This choice surprised many, but it revealed the heart of his kingdom. His message was for everyone, not just the elite. By calling common men, Jesus showed that no one is too insignificant for God's purpose. These humble disciples would go on to do extraordinary things. God's power works through anyone willing to answer his call. Their ordinariness made them relatable. People could see themselves in these men. If God could use fishermen, he could use anyone. This broke down barriers and invited all to be part of God's plan. Their story became a message of hope for generations. Jesus' choice was a declaration. Everyone is welcome in his kingdom. The disciples' journey inspired countless others to believe they too could be used by God. Their lives proved that greatness comes from faith, not status. The world was changed by those the world overlooked. Jesus' invitation was, and still is, open to all. Jesus told Simon and Andrew, "I will make you fishers of men." This simple phrase carried deep meaning. They would now gather people, not fish. Their new net was grace, their bait was love. Fishing for people meant reaching out with compassion and hope. It wasn't about force, but gentle invitation. Some would respond quickly, others slowly, and some not at all. The disciples needed patience and persistence, just as before. They would cast the net of God's love again and again. Teamwork remained vital. Spreading the message was a shared mission. Each disciple had a unique role, but all worked together. They would share joys and burdens, supporting one another. Their task was to invite others into God's light. The journey would be challenging, but they were not alone. Jesus' call transformed their daily work into a divine mission. Their lives became a living invitation to God's kingdom. The world needed their message of hope and love. The call to be fishers of men was a call to change lives. Their new purpose was clear: draw people to the light of God's truth. The story of Jesus choosing fishermen is a living message for us today. Jesus still calls people, seeing potential where others see ordinary. He knows your routines, your skills, your dreams. You may feel unremarkable, but God sees your unique gifts. He uses your experiences, strengths, and even your struggles. God often chooses the unlikely to do remarkable things. Following Jesus doesn't require perfection, just a willing heart. The first disciples made mistakes, but they kept following and growing. Jesus is patient, guiding us as we learn. All he asks is openness and a desire to walk with him. Being a fisher of men today means showing love and kindness. It means sharing hope and living in a way that points others to God. You can do this in your family, at work, or in your community. Every act of love is a way to reach hearts. Your life can be a living invitation to God's grace. The call to follow is for everyone, everywhere. Jesus invites you to join his mission, just as he did long ago. Will you answer his call today? Jesus' choice of humble fishermen teaches us about his heart. He values faith, humility, and perseverance over status or fame. These men became pillars of the church, inspiring millions. Their story shows that anyone can be used by God. Your past or status doesn't define your future with him. God turns weaknesses into strengths in his hands. He invites you to join his adventure of love and hope. Let the story of the fisherman fill you with purpose. Jesus chose ordinary men for an extraordinary task. He chooses you too. The invitation to follow is open to all. Will you step into the journey of faith? The call echoes across time, waiting for your answer. Just as by the Sea of Galilee, the adventure begins with a simple yes.